Livermore Books presents When Santa Claus Met the Lord by Brian D. One cold, wintry Christmas Eve, Santa came to our neighborhood. He went visiting house to house, delivering presents. Everything was just as normal. He would go to this house. Then, after that, he would visit that house. When suddenly, just before he was to slither down another chimney, he heard a voice. "Christopher! Christopher!" "Yes? Who calls?" "It is I, the Lord." "You know my real name." "Christopher, I know everything about you, and I've been worried about you lately. I've noticed you've been running from house to house, trying to do it all on your own. It must be hard, seeking to please everyone. You can't keep on like this." "But Lord, I... Listen to me, Christopher. I'm trying to help you. I think you're going out of your way to be busy, trying to find excuses to leave the house. What are you running from?" "Lord, I don't mean to be this way." "It's getting bad. And here lately, you've even come down to spying on kids." "Kids! And you keep track of their every right and wrong. This is not what I created you for. I created you to bring joy into the world, to be a help to those around you, not to keep a running log of people's behavior." "Lord, what can I say? You're right." "You've been so preoccupied, writing in that notebook of yours all the names of those you deem worthy of reward. You never stop to think, is my name on this list? Think about it. Have you been keeping up with all of your right and wrongs, like you do everyone else? And on top of all that, you have misguided the people. All of the focus is on you. Christmas is now all about you. And because of this, the people have begun to lose sight of the real spirit of Christmas. They've come to worship the creature more than the Creator." "Lord, what you are saying is hard to hear, but I must be shown this. This must be brought to the light. I don't want to live this way anymore. I want to be a good person and do good things." "Christopher, the very fact that you have that desire tells me you have a good heart. I knew you before you were even born, and I know the real you is still in there somewhere. You've just got lost along the way." "Lord, to be honest, I've been in my head here recently, dealing with fear and anxiety, and I think I'm depressed. I find myself just playing on my phone at the end of the day, usually for hours on end until I fall asleep in my chair. Eventually, Mrs. Claus wakes me up, and I say to her, 'I wasn't asleep. I was just taking a nap.' She just rolls her eyes and hobbles off to bed without me, just hobbling along. Sometimes I just sit there, holding my phone, and watch her as she hobbles down the hall, hobbling and wobbling, all the way down the hall, and I think, I have to stay with this person the rest of my life. Is this really what it's all about?" Then I sit and play on my phone some more while Mrs. Claus goes to bed alone. Then eventually, I go to bed after around 2 or 3 in the morning when I can't scroll any longer. "Yes, I've heard of this before. These are telltale signs of emotional stagnation. You are in a rut, Christopher, and you can't seem to get out. In the mornings, I try and get to the shop early to make sure my elves are working. I have to stay on them or they start to slack off in their job performance. You know, over the years, I have become a hard taskmaster. I went so far as to make it a company policy to dock them a whole day's pay, even if they are only 1 minute late. Some of them claim to be old, but I know it's just an excuse. They should have left the house earlier anyway. I can't hold their hands every day and night. See, Christopher? There you go again. You're not thinking about others. You are thinking only of yourself and how you can benefit. You've made the elves a means to an end, rather than souls that just need to be cared for, need to be told they are doing a good job, need to be loved. Do you work all day at the shop? Not really. After I show up in the morning to remind them I have cameras installed watching their every move, I go back home and eat lunch. But instead of having a good home-cooked meal with Mrs. Claus, you sit down in your chair and you start cramming cookie after cookie after cookie until finally you fall asleep. Mrs. Claus then comes to wake you up. You tell her you wasn't asleep, you were just taking a nap. And you do it all over again. Yes, that is right, Lord. How can I do better? What can I do to change? Desiring to do better is one thing, but looking for ways to change? This is great progress in your therapy. But before we continue, we need to leave this rooftop and go somewhere else. But Lord, why can't we talk here? I'm comfortable here. Exactly. You're comfortable here because this is your territory. But for real change to take place, we need to physically place you in a new location. That's why therapists have offices. How silly would it be for therapists to meet clients at everyone's house? Think about it. You'd see therapists going from house to house all the time. It just doesn't work. Therapy is never convenient. Remember that. Okay, I see your point. But what about telehealth? Telehealth is a good resource, but nothing beats the real deal. Okay, Lord, you win. And just like that, they immediately transported to a small Kentucky town, a rural town. It was evening time, and it was quiet. All the families had just finished their supper and were getting ready for bed. Each home looked like a beautiful painting, one you could just frame and hang on the wall. All except for one. My God, whose house is this? You don't remember, do you? Why, this was your home. They both stood there. It was a teetotal mess. There was trash strung out across the yard, cats and dogs running around like it was the Old West, broken down appliances sitting on the front porch, and the backyard was sprinkled with a slew of vehicles, just rusting away. Not a one of them moved in years. Hear all that fussing and fighting going on in there? It's all coming back to me now. There are things that went on in that house that shouldn't be repeated. How could anyone live like this? How could a person grow up in this mess? You did, Christopher. You grew up in that mess. It's mental illness is what it is. We got people just like that in there, running around everywhere, undiagnosed, trying to make life happen, as if life wasn't hard enough already. So much pain, so much sadness. No child should ever have to go through that. Let's take a look inside. And within a blink, they transported into the home. They stood in the hallway and watched as the scene played on. I told you to stay out of my business, yelled the man. The woman shouted back, what gives you the right to run around on me all night long, while I'm stuck here taking care of the kids? Kids I didn't even want. But you just had to have kids. What's her name, Ree? Who you been sleeping with? The man lifted his eyes to the ceiling and hollered out. He grabbed the woman violently by the collar and shoved her in the back room. Christopher screamed out, Dad, stop it! It's not worth it. Just leave her alone. Don't bother, Christopher. They can't see us or hear us. You couldn't see anything. but you heard everything. Mostly a bunch of yelling and throwing things. Breakable things. Things that would hit the walls and smash in a million pieces. I don't know what was worse. What really went on in that room, or my imagination. I wish I could tell you this was a one-time thing, like this happened and was never talked about. Something we never brought back up. This happened all the time. It was normal. Look. The Lord pointed to the corner of the room where the man's chair sit. Behind the chair were two scared little boys, each curled up with their arms wrapped around their knees, and they were crying. The older brother put his arm around the younger. Good old Finn. He was always there for me. A tear rolled down Christopher's cheek. Lord, why did you show me this? I don't want to relive all this again. I've tried hard to forget what went on in this home. Take me away from here, please. I wish none of this ever happened. You can't keep running from the past. You hear a lot of folks these days say, don't let your past define you. Well, I'm here to tell you, your past has made you into who you are today. It has everything to do with your present self. To discount your past is the wish to erase it. Erase history. Only I have the ability to complete such a task. It's time now to embrace the past. Use it to become the better version of yourself. The better you. And in a flash, they were now standing outside Christopher's office. It was September. The Christmas season was just gearing up. Christopher was sitting at his desk, scheduling his deliveries. Just then, a dumpy elf came to the door.
Excuse me, sir. There is a person here to see you. Said they are from Pinewood Rest Home.
Christopher became agitated. I already know what they want. They want to use some of my worker elves. They're severely understaffed. They do this to me every year. Tell them no. We need all that we have.
All right. Oh, and one more thing. Your brother is here to see you as well.
Send him in, I guess. Finn soon walked in the door. Years of hard labor showed evident from the lines on his face, and he looked tired. What do you want now, Finn?
Well, it's just, I was wondering if you had any work for me. You see, I got laid off recently at the cigar factory, and my bills have been adding up. Since my little girl got diagnosed, she's been getting treatment for that condition of hers. It sure would mean a lot if you had a job for me. We just can't afford to pay for her treatment anymore without a steady income.
Finn, look, if you need a job, just say it. Don't beat around the bush. Just come out and say it.
Chris, I need a job.
Well, I'm sorry, but we're filled up. You should have been here months ago when the elves were planning the manufacturing schedule. It's too late in the year. If you can, please, leave me alone. You bother me. But you had a job he could do, didn't you? Yes, I had plenty of jobs, Lord. Truth is, I could use all the help I can get, any time of the year. I just don't like to work with family. You know how it is. Christopher, when was the last time you called your brother and checked on that niece of yours anyway? I was getting around to it. I've just been busy. I have one more place we need to visit. Somewhere in the not-too-distant future. They transported one final time and were now standing outside of an unkempt building. It looked haunted, the kind of building you'd get murdered in. You thought I was going to take you to the gravesite of your niece, didn't you? Well, Lord, I kind of did. She survived then?
No, she died all right. And I didn't take you there 'cause I already knew you didn't care too much about it.
Christopher changed the subject. I don't know, but I'm not going in that janky building. You can go, but I'm staying right here. Before Christopher could finish his sentence, they were standing in the main lobby. Wheelchairs. Elderly people sitting in wheelchairs. One was off in the corner talking to the wall. Another sitting at a table drawing pictures. There was a horrid stench in the air, emanating through the halls. The AC vents carried an ominous hum, circulating the filth. The smell was palpable. You could taste it. I think I know where we are. Can't they afford a sign anywhere? This has got to be Pinewood.
Let's take a look around.
They walked through the lobby and into the halls. This is a bad place to be, Lord. I told you I didn't want to come in here. They continued down the halls. They stopped at a room.
Let's step inside.
It was a very small room. A wrinkly and frail man was lying there in his twin bed. He was very old and very skinny. You could tell he hadn't been moved in days. I think I'm going to puke. Why doesn't someone come in and change him?
They just don't have enough help. They do their best with what little staff they have.
Just then the man whispered, "Hey, over there, I can see you." Can he see us?
He sure can. I allow those in this bad of shape to see into the spirit world.
Christopher walked over to the man's bedside and took hold of his thin little fragile hand. The Lord stood there and watched while the old man whispered again. Believe it or not, just a year ago, I weighed over 300 pounds. Christopher couldn't believe it. But you're so skinny now, I can count most of your bones just looking at you. What happened? I just got old is all, and I haven't had much of an appetite since my wife died. She fell and broke her hip shortly after I got in here. She didn't last no time till she died. After that, I just couldn't eat no more. They fix me food every day, but I just lay here and look at it. Didn't you have any kids? Don't you have anyone to come visit you? No, we never had any kids. She wanted to, but I kept putting it off. To tell you the truth, the old bag got on my nerves, always getting up early, banging dishes around while I'm trying to sleep. I don't understand how a person could wake up every morning and think, I need to smack a bunch of pots and pans together. That'll be a good idea. But you know, since she died, I'd give anything to have her here, to get up early one more morning and bang up a bunch of noise. I'm just here wasting away now, not eating, and hurting every day. Christopher was disgusted. Hearing this makes me sick. I wish there was something I could do. The old man looked at Christopher in the eye and whispered again, Do this one thing for me. Change. Be better. Do the important things. There's a world out there, and they're hurting. They don't need wooden toys and stuffed dolls. They don't need someone tracking their every right and wrong. They need attention. They need someone to look them in the eye and say, It's going to be all right, and I'm here for you. Don't just waste the days away. We have so few of them left. It's later than you think. Don't let the days control you. Seize the day. There were no smart-mouth remarks or jokes, no wise cracks or suggestions. For the first time, Christopher was speechless. The room fell silent. Christopher leaned over and kissed the man's head, then turned to walk out. When they reached the hallway, Christopher asked, Lord, I want to do something for that man. When he dies, I'm going to have my elves make him the biggest gravestone, His graveside will be littered with flowers. If he can't be honored while he's alive, I'll do everything I can to honor him when he dies." Suddenly, a nurse walked by. "Excuse me, ma'am, that man in there, what's his name?"
Oh, that man? He sure is a character. You caught him on a good day, too. We got presidents, movie stars, King Arthur, and everyone else. But that man in there thinks he's Santa Claus."
Christopher whipped around and looked at the name tag near the door. The sign read, "Kringle, C." "You mean?" Christopher's face turned ghostly pale.
That's right. That man lying in there is you.
Christopher began to sob. "Lord, I can't do this no more. Take me away from this horrible place. I'll be a better husband, a better brother. Pinewood can have all the help they need. I'm done treating the elves like slaves. Please, give me another chance to be different." He wrapped his arms around the Lord and closed his eyes. "Please, Lord, please, please, please." When he opened his eyes, he was back on the roof, hugging the chimney that stood tall out of the shingles. "I'm still here. I'm still here. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, thank you." He looked at the big sack of presents resting on the roof. "Oh, no, you don't." He picked up the sack and threw it in his sleigh and said, "Soon as I get back to the North Pole, you're going straight to the dumpster." And just like that, he was off. Christopher had never been happier to go home. The next morning brought with it a brand new day and a brand new Christopher. He gathered round the elves and announced exciting plans. The workshop was to be converted into a giant kitchen and delivery service, distributing warm, ready-to-serve meals to the hungry. He partnered with Pinewood Rest Home on designing a brand new building, donating all parts and labor. He vowed that with the help of his elves, Pinewood would never again be short-staffed. He called his brother and told him to send all of his niece's hospital bills. He even made Finn head of the production department and vowed he'd never be without a job again. And Christopher continued to do good things. He stopped thinking only of himself and started thinking of others. No more seen on rooftops, in shopping malls, or Christmas parades, but in children's hospitals, playing games and making crafts with the kids. He's seen volunteering at churches, cleaning restrooms after service, and helping with outreach. Some have seen him walking long country roads, carrying a large sack, picking up trash. He's seen comforting kids whose parents are dragged off to jail in the middle of the night. You can even catch him consoling families and rebuilding homes after a natural disaster. He never makes himself known. He prefers to lay low. But every once in a while, the twinkle in his eye and his bright, warm smile gives him away. Later that night, he gathered his behavior logs and threw them in the fireplace. He was done recording everyone's right and wrongs. From now on, every day was to be a new day, a fresh start. Not just for him, but for everyone. And for the first time in years, he sat down at the table and ate dinner with Mrs. Claus. The end. Today's program has been a dramatized version of the original short story. All the characters, aside from the Lord, and all the places' names are entirely fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Original soundtrack written and provided by Riverside Waves. Those seeking permission to use this recording for live-action dramatizations at their local church, please email livermorebooks@gmail.com. You have been listening to When Santa Claus Met the Lord by Brian D. Distributed by Livermore Books, a subsidiary of Livermore Film.